Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon where I'll be talking about the movies, obviously, their TV shows, or I don't know, merchandising, theme parks, what have you. Stuff that's related to Disney in one shape or another, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'm making one of these videos where I talk about movies that were supposed to have been made but weren't for whatever reason. There's a variety of different reasons, of course. Financial difficulties, uh, creative decisions, being stuck in development limbo, what have you. Maybe the script writer and the director aren't seeing eye to eye. I don't know. This could be like a bunch of reasons, of course. Maybe constant delays in production for, I don't know, for whatever reason, I guess. Maybe they can't get the proper rights to a book or a video game or a comic series. There's a bunch of stuff that can get in the way. But I guess you could say the Alice in Wonderland film that was actually released was not the original version of the film that was actually made. So in this case, I'd be talking about a different version that was planned, of course, you can say, I guess. So, yeah, originally Walt Disney, when he was alive, had proposed a very different Alice in Wonderland compared to the one that hit theaters. And yeah, so, and that's the thing. It even received a full storyboarded treatment. So yeah, you actually had a script, storyboarded, of course. And so yeah, definitely trying to, I guess you can say, put maximum effort on it, animation, of course. So yeah, the that was definitely there, of course, obviously. Yeah, Walt Disney was very familiar with the books, the Alice books, Alice Adventures in Wonderland, which was published in 1865, and Through the Looking Glass, which was published in 1871, and had read them as a schoolboy. So in 1923, he was 21 at the time when he was this aspiring filmmaker working with his studio in Kansas City, making let's say, the really unsuccessful short cartoon series. And yeah, and of course, there's an idea for Alice in Wonderland, obviously. So yeah, he had something in mind, obviously. Even when he was really young, he had something to do, of course, and whatnot. And but the thing is that when he had his fourth film company's animation, he faced, of course, with business problems, obviously. So the studio, pretty much that he was a part of at the time, went bankrupt in July of 1923, and the stuff that he wanted to do, specifically with Alice in Wonderland, yeah, the movie was never released, of course, to what he wanted to do anyway. So yeah, however, Walt Disney himself left for Hollywood and used what he can do for potential distributors, of course. So yeah, that's the thing, folks. He really wanted to do with something to do with animation. He eventually partnered with his older brother and pretty much rehired the Kansas City workers, which included several other individuals, to form the Disney Brothers Studio, which was later rebranded as Walt Disney Productions. So yeah, of course, for a good while, they made quite a few shorts at the time. One of which was actually, yeah, that one Mickey Mouse short that was made, which was obviously heavily inspired by the Alice stories. So yeah, that was done. Yeah, this one individual, she was selected for a live action animation hybrid type of a movie when Walt Disney himself had considered to do a full-length film in 1933 to do that kind of a thing. However, that version was completely scrapped in order to make room for another movie instead. Favor for this film, yes, of course, the original Snow White became one of the biggest animated features of all time. And yeah, it was because of that movie that pretty much launched their studio into business. And of course, it was definitely a way to start his career as a filmmaker, even though a lot of people didn't believe in that movie. So yeah, that film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, definitely changed the art of animation forever. And he definitely wanted to do that. So of course, obviously, this seemed like okay, you could return to do this again. You could make okay, that was a hit. Maybe you could return to this project. Well, that seemed like it could have been the case. Could have actually probably make it right after this movie because that one was successful, of course, obviously. But yeah, and that's the thing, folks. It's not that he didn't have any other big hits afterwards, which he did. And yes, obviously there were a lot of successes, smash hits after the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and they just kept making hits after hits after hits. So basically, multiple successes after that one film, and I do mean a lot. I'm not going to bring up every single one of these smash hit films, but there were plenty of films that they produced, especially in animation, that made a lot of money. They were a success for the company. So yeah, making one another an attempt around the same time, before or even afterwards, seemed to likely the case, especially afterwards. It seemed like a possible way to bring back the project. I mean, okay, yeah, sure, there was already an Alice in Wonderland film that came out in 1933, so I guess that was partly the reason as to why he pretty much pushed pushed it to a side and whatnot. But like I was saying, Walt Disney did not completely abandon the idea of adapting Alice into some sort of movie, and that's what I showed you a moment ago. The Mickey Mouse thing, he added that right there, of course. So I guess that's something. But of course, this didn't stop them from trying, I guess you can say, again. So yeah, around the time where the animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was being highly successful, so they attempted again to have this film done. And they actually hired a cartoonist, of course, but it seemed rather gruesome and seemed really dark and really difficult to animate and whatnot. So unfortunately, even though they had some people working on this project again, however, yeah, some other thing was a factor into this that got in the way in the production of this again. Yeah, World War II. That happened. So yes, of course, which placed the production for Alice in Wonderland even back further. So yeah, it just seems like as though it's one thing or another that seems to be getting in the way for this animated movie. It always seems to be something. But yeah, the thing is that, like, okay, even in the fall of 1954, shortly after the war had ended, Walt Disney himself had revived the project again and hired this British author to pretty much rewrite the script. And yeah, this individual pretty much, I guess he trying to do his own spin on the story, I guess you can say, and do his own take on it and his own little way, I suppose. This individual in which Walt Disney had hired to write another version of script, like maybe like he didn't really understood what was going to the story going to be about, but also then on top of that, there was going to be another version of the script that was going to be pretty much more faithful to the book. So yeah, there was quite a few scenes directly from the book itself, and that was definitely the thing there. Yeah, folks, it was definitely a lot of scenes that definitely lifted from the book. So yeah, a lot of the artwork, like I was saying earlier, from the storyboards, it was definitely gonna have this surreal influence onto it. So yeah, a lot of the artwork was gonna be really weird. In a lot of ways, are really bizarre. I mean, okay, it actually does make a lot of sense in that regard. Of course, it's going to be bizarre. This is Alice in Wonderland we're talking about here, so quite a bit was going to be from the book itself, but have some sort of severe, surreal, very surreal look to it. So yes, quite honestly, I do like the look of it though. It's just that unfortunately it just never made it onto the finished version of it. And in the script version that was written at the time, Alice herself was going to be behaving a lot more childish in some ways. But yeah, I don't know how well that would uh you know be liked by the audiences. I'm not sure, but yeah, she was definitely going to be um a lot more childish in some ways, taking all the weird and unusual characters that pretty much unfolded right in front of her. I guess you can say in the original draft of the version, she behaved more of like an actual child in comparison. I guess I suppose. So yeah, the script of that was pretty much was used for the original storyboards. Pretty much had her, I guess, having this kind of temper. I guess you can say. And the not only that, yeah, the Red Queen, she was going to be mentioned a lot sooner because she was going to be warned about her. Yeah, things were going to get more, I guess, more heated, more crazier with her, I guess, because she was going to be brought up a lot sooner. Yeah, Alice's trip down the rabbit hole was already creepy as it is in the original drafts, I guess you can say. As she pretty much goes down on on just this surreal look throughout the entire thing, like I was saying earlier. But before it reaches to the bottom of the hole and into like a hall of doors, how yeah, the thing is that, folks, she would have encountered a swarm of bats that would have came in with like a foreboding warning about what's going to happen later on in the movie. Yeah, I'm guessing the character was going to be way more frightening compared to what was actually done. And the build up to the character was also going to be scary in itself too. So yeah, the Drink Me a Bottle was actually going to be a character in the film as well, but that was scrapped. And as for the Mad Hatter, yeah, he was going to have way more hats, and he was going to come a way more bizarre, more of an like eccentric character. And then the whole T scene was actually going to be a longer and more scarier, I guess you would say. But that was also scrapped. Yeah, the thing is that the painting the roses red is a pretty memorable sequence in the film. Yes, this did appear in the original script version as well. Well, one of the script versions anyway. Yeah, there was definitely this, of course, and with the gardeners that are seen in the sequence happens to be very different from the musical number that was in the final production. According to some storyboards, yeah, there won't be pretty much like this this garden that would have been attended by these living whos, so to speak, and the sequence itself would have ended with the arrival of the Queen of Hearts, depicted more like she was in a novel rather than the comedic kind of thing, like she was ended up being in the final film. But like in the book, there's yes, there's of course the croquet match, the try that follows. But the thing is that it would have ended much more darker. By which I mean is that, well, yeah, remember the Queen said, "Off with your head." Yeah, that was going to happen in the movie, decapitation with the main character. So that was definitely one of the biggest changes from the film. So yeah, a lot of it would not have obviously fly, I guess you can say. Well, that'll be it, folks. For now, I guess you can say. As always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah.